Hi, I'm Tristan Reichert. I did a project on iPhones. So here's a picture of the first generation iPhone. It is very well known. It was released in 2007. Some background information. The Apple product originally was the Steve Jobs product. June 29th, 2007 was the first release of the first generation iPhone. It was built around a multi-touch screen and a home button at the bottom. It's capable of connecting to Wi-Fi, browsing the internet, sending text messages, receiving phone calls. You can send and receive emails. Also download applications through the App Store or iTunes. It can play music, it can take photos, record videos, and GPS navigation. It can also take notes, receive visual voicemail, perform mathematical calculations, the calculator app. FaceTime, described as a game changer and revolutionary in some magazines. How it came to be, Steve Jobs came back in 2005 with a purpose of innovation. He was basically asking himself to either shrink the Mac computer, the Macintosh, which would take lots of engineering, probably take a lot more than a few years to come to be, or plan B was enlarge the iPod, which was already a well-established product of Apple. Naturally, Steve Jobs picked to enlarge the iPod as it was released less than 2 years later. Here's a list of some different models. Here's the first generation iPhone, which was released in 2007, as said earlier. The iPhone 3G was released in July of 2008. iPhone 4 was released in June of 2010. iPhone 5 released September of 2012. And there's a bunch of models in between because iPhone 4 was then followed by the iPhone 4S. And like with the iPhone 5, they then made the iPhone 5S as well as they did with the 4. And they did 5C, which is really all that they did different there was the back of the phone had colors instead of the glass, because a big problem happening with all the iPhones up to 5 were that if you would drop them, it'd break like glass. The iPhone 6/6 Plus was released in 2014 of September, and a reoccurring theme was they was released in September. So the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus was released in September of 2016. iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, September of 2017. Then the iPhone X released in November of 2017, same year as they did the iPhone 8. Now the iPhone X has a new capability of face matching. They can unlock your phone through your face. And ever since iPhone 5, they were able to do fingerprints or thumbprints. Here's a photo of the iPhone 4. So I was talking about how the body of it is made out of more of this material that breaks really easy. iPhone 7, they did a couple things different here. They got rid of the glass material. Here they still have an audio jack, and you can charge your phone still. It's called the Lightning port, I believe. Here's the iPhone X. Now there is no audio jack. Only plug-in would be the charge, like where you charge it at. So you need a dongle to put like your headphones in. iOS operating systems. Apple has released 11 generations of iPhones, and they all have been with a new iOS operating system. It's kind of the point behind it. iOS is based upon direct manipulation using multi-touch gestures. Interface control elements consist of sliders, switches, and buttons. iOS 12 is the current system and is capable for download by all Apple products if they have a 64-bit processor. Sales. Apple released its opening weekend sales results for the 5C and the 5S models, showing an all-time high for the product's sales figures with 9 million handsets sold. The previous record was set in 2012 when 5 million handsets were sold during the opening weekend for the 5 model. In the first quarter of 2014, Apple reported that it sold 51 million iPhones, an all-time high for quarterly record time period, and compared to 47.8 million in the year ago quarter. Apple has made a lot of revenue with these phones. The end. Thank you for coming to my talk.